Thursday, December 19th, 2024, and I don't know how much of this program I can watch in the second Trump era. I only started this in 2021 when he was on his way out. Um, and I mean, I've already given up news. I don't know if I can watch these women blather on about this idiocracy that is happening in Washington. Between Sara and Alyssa being just ridiculous Republican apologists, like, Alyssa, do you really think that Bobby Jr. is going to create more regulations on food to make our food safer? It is a position I agree with him on, that our food, we have very few regulations. It was one of the things that I worried about when I moved back to the United States. It was like, I don't want to eat the meat. So I try to be very careful about knowing where my meat comes from. And I won't eat fish at all because this industrial fishing complex is ruining our oceans and the planet. But like, a Republican administration with a Republican Senate and a Republican House, you really think they're going to pass regulations on food? I thought the Republicans were anti-regulation, right? Small government, get out of our business. Which all they do is then create these weird, you know, wars on women's bodies and transgender people. Like Sara the other day saying something stupid about, the Republicans are bad at, or the Democrats are bad at messaging. They're talking about bathrooms and who can. We didn't bring up the bathroom issue. It's because the Republicans all wanted a distraction. And so they started to pass all these bathroom bills about the gender you were assigned at birth is the only bathroom you could use, and making poor trans kids just feel like, a fucking football. Like I can't take it with those two. Um, and Joy is, Joy is just phoning it in. Like I don't think she does the pre-work. I don't think she's paying attention. Like it's just like she's just there to crack a joke and go home, make lasagna. And so poor Sunny has to do all the heavy lifting, and Anna when she's there, by actually pointing things out that are true. And between Sara and Alyssa saying, Sara said the other day, when people say the economy is bad, and then Democrats say, well, no, actually, the economy is really good, that doesn't help. And Alyssa saying something about something about the perception of the voter and the government shutdown isn't, it doesn't really matter to them, or they see Elon Musk and that he's got all of these credentials. Elon Musk, by the way, didn't create anything. He bought companies that already existed. He doesn't know the technology. He's not the innovator. He doesn't build anything. He doesn't make anything. He just buys other people's ideas. And apparently now he's just bought a presidency. But this whole idea, the two of them are like are talking about the electorate that are misinformed or underinformed, and that somehow we're supposed to message to their misinformation. No, we need to educate them. I don't think we should be dumbing down our government to meet the lack of education of our populace. That's that seems really not smart. So we're gonna pass laws about things that aren't a problem just because the mass media is brainwashing idiots into thinking that there is a problem. It's also fucking frustrating. I don't know what, and this whole thing today or this week about Musk saying don't vote for this bill. Their one job is to pass the government, or is to fund the government. And no, Alyssa, this isn't a longstanding tradition. We never used to have government shutdowns. This is new. And this is all because the Republicans throw hissy fits. And this time they're in control and they're arguing amongst themselves. It's laughable that they keep saying that the perception of the Democratic Party is that it's filled with elites and one percenters. Everyone in his cabinet, this stupid fucking asshole. that's going to become president next month, they're billionaires. They don't give a flying fuck about you. And I guess they're going to find out. All of these idiots who voted for this are going to finally see what they voted for. They're voting for this chaos. But somehow they defend it. I don't know how long that's going to keep happening. But this whole idea that, you know, letting the government shut down is somehow helpful to anyone is ridiculous. It's political grandstanding. And the fact that Amy Alyssa Farrah Griffin is just like giddy. This is what she lives for, to be able to talk about these things in theory, not actual practical answers or practical, logical help for people. She just likes to talk about the politics of it all. Does politics actually affect people's lives? It's so fucking frustrating. So, yeah, and uh, Matt Gaetz is in trouble. I get that the criminal charges were dropped, but that was in Florida in a Trump-friendly uh, law enforcement process, excuse me, judicial process, and his accomplice went to jail instead. Um, but if that report is going to be released, and it's weird that they voted again and then it's just silently in private, but they're going to release it after the term is over, after they stop voting, which is soon, whenever they finish this stupid bill. And no, Alyssa, they aren't going to stay through Christmas. These civil servants aren't that dedicated. What pisses me off the most with the Democratic Party is that they just seem to be laying down. And Nancy Pelosi putting the screws to AOC doesn't help anybody. AOC is the only one, and Jasmine Crockett, I guess, that you can visibly see are actively trying to help. They are sort of in the trench, willing to fight. And these geezers that have been sticking around forever won't relinquish control. Nancy needs to go. Chuck Schumer needs to go. Whoever this oversight committee guy is, who just got diagnosed with fucking cancer. So they give him the chairmanship over a healthy 35-year-old woman who's smart and has a backbone. It just doesn't make any sense. And what the Democrat establishment doesn't seem to understand, or I guess they just don't care, because they don't really want to govern either. They just want to line their own pockets and do what they, keep the status quo, which is highly disappointing. And what I fear is has been going on for decades, that when they get power, they don't actually seize it and do anything helpful because they don't really want to do it. And that seems to be playing out very visibly now. Um, that these establishment Democrats don't understand that the electorate is now really pissed. And we want someone who's going to go in there and fight and do the things that we want to do. And yes, AOC's platform and ideology is actually very popular. If you take her name off of it, because people have demonized her, she's the Hillary Clinton of the 21st century. Um, People actually believe the things that she wants to accomplish and that would actually help people. So this, uh, you know, the Bernie Bros, the people that actually want to see some progress happen, want to see some fight. And all we're seeing is Democrats laying down. They yelled at us for 2 years that this man was an existential threat to democracy, and they're literally just bending over backwards for him, and he's not even there yet. This is some fucking bullshit, and I don't know how much of that program I can take while all this fuckery is going on. And that's what these people voted for. They voted for this fuckery. Let's see how long they tolerate it, because it doesn't seem like they, now that the election is over, I don't think they really give a shit or pay any attention to what happens in politics. So it's exhausting. And every time I see Kamala Harris speak, all I think is, God damn, we missed out. We missed out big.